Yo guys, it's absolutely Little here, and this is why you should never use command blocks. It's because you should use Datapacks instead. Now in this video I'm gonna show you the best advantages of Datapacks over command blocks, and also in the description of the video is gonna be a sample datapack that you can use to get started making your maps much faster and better. Alright, so you want to create a map, so you go in single player, create new world, it's gonna prepare for world creation for some reason, you're gonna call it my beautiful map, and I don't know how to speak apparently. Anyway, once the map properly generates, you have a conundrum, okay? You have so many ideas, so many builds, but you have no idea how to get started on commands. And most of all, you are so tired of making all of these command blocks chain that you know you're not gonna figure out where to put them, you don't have space, you have to worry about loading the command blocks, you have to worry about activating the command blocks, and all of this crazy stuff. Well, what if I told you that you can actually make an entire map without using any of these forsaken blocks? And you might already know the answer because I said Datapacks at the beginning of the video, but you may say, okay, how do I get started? Well, all you have to do is save and quit the title, go into your world, and do edit and do open world folder. Right here you will find a folder called Datapacks, and it's not gonna have any items because you're a pleb, you don't use Datapacks, but now you're gonna use them. This folder is gonna be empty, and here you will be able to paste the first link in the description. Now it's gonna be a zip file, so you're gonna have to uncompress it. Alright, so once you paste it in, it's gonna look like something like this. Now, the next thing you need to do is install Visual Studio Code on your computer. Now, you could use a simple notepad, but you're gonna go insane. Visual Studio Code is the best IDE for Minecraft map making. So just install this in your computer if you haven't already, it's free and it's called Visual Studio Code. Once it's loaded in, you can actually take this folder that is in your Datapacks and just drag it into Visual Studio Code, or you can open it. So if you do this, you're gonna have a project with your datapack. Now the first time you do this, you might also have to download some extensions to make your data packing experience better. You can do this from clicking this button with the extensions, and you can search for Datapack Helper. Now this is the extension that I'm using, but I'm sure there are better ones or stuff like that, but this is the one I use, so it has every single feature that you will want from a data pack. Oh my gosh, it opens so many windows, what is this? Anyway, yeah, it's basically gonna highlight all of the syntax and all of the Minecraft stuff to give you help when you make the maps. And this is the best thing about using Datapacks, that you don't have to worry about Minecraft being sloppy and not actually giving you the right highlights for your code. So once this is installed, you can go ahead and just look into the datapack. Now there are a few things that you will have to change, most importantly the map name. You can change this to whatever you want, so we're gonna change it right now. I'm gonna rename this, which is a folder, to the name of my map, which is gonna be called Beautiful Map, okay? And now you also have to change this in a few different places. You might have to change it at the root of the folder as well, so you can do it from here and just change the folder name, and then I guess you can reopen it with Visual Studio. But yeah, so we changed the name of the folders, and now another thing you have to do, you have to go inside Minecraft and tags, and you have to change the names here as well. So in tick.json you have to change it with your map name, and load.json you have to change it with your map name, and make sure to save those files. Oh, another thing I forgot to say in the past is make sure to go in the pack.mc meta and check if this pack format is correct. As you can see, if I put it to a wrong value, there is gonna be a little bit of a squiggly line that is gonna tell me this value is incorrect. It must be 10. Now, in the 1.19.2, the version of Minecraft, the pack format is 10, but probably when new versions of Minecraft release, this pack format is gonna change. So make sure to look at this file before, creating stuff on the datapack. After you did this, you are completely 100% set up, and you can start coding in Datapacks. But now you may say, Nico, I have no idea how to switch from command blocks to Datapacks. How can I do this? It's actually surprisingly simple. Now, when you use command blocks, you need to use two different things. You either use a repeating command block, which repeats stuff every single tick, or you use a impulse command block that repeats stuff only the first ticks it activates. Now, this is all you need when you're making a map, because these are the only two types of command blocks we have. We have the chain command blocks, but they depend on whatever command block comes first in the chain, whether it's a repeating or an impulse one. So if I do say hi, and this says say hi 3, and then I do this and I activate it, the command blocks are gonna go down the chain. And the same thing is gonna happen if I do it from this side. There you go. Now we want to replicate this behavior using Datapacks, so we don't have to use these messy command blocks that we have to activate using Redstone or using data merge blocks. Now these two JSON files right here tell Minecraft to execute these two specific functions, the beautiful map tick and the beautiful map load function, at two different places in the Minecraft execution code. Basically, the load function will be executed when the datapack is loaded, so it's gonna be looking like an inputs command block by any chance. The tick function is gonna be executed every single tick, so it's gonna be just like a repeating command block. And there you go, this is how you have inputs command blocks, this is how you have repeating command blocks. So now if you go into the load MC function and you write something here like say hi, and we go inside of here and we do reload. Remember, you have to do reload in order to, refresh all of the code in your datapack. As you can see, the server is gonna say hi. But now you might say, Nico, how do I make a command block chain? Well, it's really simple. Every line is a piece of the chain. So if I do say I chew, and I hit save, and I do reload, it's gonna say hi and hi chew. It's basically gonna be just like doing this. But in order to do this, I have to place two command blocks. I have to set this to active and do all of this. Here, I just have to do 2 lines of code. It's much simpler, and I also have better highlighting thanks to Visual Studio Code. You might say, well, Nico, I have highlighting in Minecraft too, as you can see. Minecraft highlights my syntax as well. Yeah, but Visual Studio highlights your syntax much better. Look at this. So let's say we want to detect if a player has an item in their inventory, and only if they have that item, then we're gonna say hi. Well, we can do execute if entity player, we're gonna do all players, and we're gonna check if their MBT is of a certain kind. Now, pay attention to what happens if you do it in Minecraft. If I do it in Minecraft, inside the MBT tag, I actually get no syntax highlighting, so I have to remember things by hand. In here, you actually get MBT syntax highlighting, so you can do inventory, column, and then it already tells you what this is gonna be. So this is gonna be an array of items, and I need the ID, so I just need to check if the ID is gonna be Minecraft diamonds, and then I need to close the parentheses, and if that's the case, then I'm gonna say hi. And now it's even gonna tell me an error, because it's gonna be like, failed to resolve the namespace ID Minecraft diamond. So it doesn't find the diamonds in the list of blocks. Why doesn't it find diamonds in the list of blocks? Well, of course, because the actual ID is diamond, singular. So as you can see, Visual Studio Code helped me and gave me the solution and told me that I was doing something really bad without making me run the actual code. Now, another thing that I'm messing up here is that I'm running this code on load. So I'm checking this condition only when the datapack loads. So as you can see right now, if I do reload and I don't have a diamond block, nothing is gonna happen. But if I put a diamond block in my hand and I do reload now, it's gonna say hi. So as you can see, this works. But now I want to check for this condition not only when the datapack loads, but every single tick. How do I do this? Well, instead of putting this in the load function, we put this in the tick function. So it's gonna check this every single tick. We do reload, and now it's gonna keep saying hi until I drop my diamond block. Once I drop it, it's not gonna say hi anymore. And once I pick it back up, it's gonna say hi. So great, we can do a repeating and an impulse chain. But now, when you create maps, you may realize that you may need a bunch of different chains to keep yourself organized. And you may say, well, Nico, how can you create this? I really want to have different chain of command blocks to have more mental organization. Well, you can create different command blocks chains by creating different functions. So instead of using the tick function to write in code, you can actually use this function to define all of the command blocks chain. So in order to make this the clearest possible, let's give these chains some names, okay? So we do that, this is gonna be, an example, the reset system for your map, okay? This is gonna be a reset system, okay? This is gonna be the chain 1 that is gonna control the first troll of the map. Let's suppose you're doing a troll map, okay? So this is gonna be falling 3 troll, okay? So we have this. This is gonna be falling ground troll, okay? So we have 3 different chains. One of them is impulse, and these 2 are repeating. So right here we can create a new file and we can call it an example reset system.mc function. And now right here we can do our reset system code that maybe is gonna set the spawn point to all players to a certain position like 000. It's gonna kill all entities that are not a player, maybe because we want to reset the map. It's gonna say you are bad because you lost and stuff like that. And then we're gonna have these 2 other chains. So let's just create another file, and this is gonna be the following 3 .mc function. You can name this however you want. You just need to have mc function at the end so they get properly parsed by Visual Studio Code and by Minecraft. So here we're gonna write, I don't know how to make a troll on the spot, but we're gonna do like set block at a certain position, I don't know. Oh, it tells me I put the file in the wrong place. Of course, I need to place the file inside the functions. I put it in the wrong place and the Minecraft function wouldn't have run. But Visual Studio Code told me how to fix this problem pronto. Anyway, now that this is set up, I actually want another function. I'm just gonna copy paste this one and I'm gonna rename it to falling ground. And I'm gonna do fill this block with air, replace, I don't know, concrete, red concrete, that example. Now, these are repeating command blocks, so we're just gonna do, just for the sake of the example, if the player is near, so if entity, you can literally do anything with this, okay? I mean, you can just translate any command blocks you want, so we're gonna just do, if the player is at these coordinates, then we do this sort of thing. Okay, so now we have these three functions, but we want to execute them at different times. We want these two to be executed every single tick, and we want this one to be executed only when we reset the map. Alright, so we can go into our tick function right here, delete the code that we already have, and we can do that the first two functions need to be called every single tick. So let's just do function falling ground, and you have to use your namespace, which is the name of the map in this case, which is gonna be beautiful map column falling ground, and then we're gonna do beautiful map column falling 3. So these two commands are gonna be calling these two functions every single tick because they are running in the tick function. Alright, and then we're gonna create another repeating function which is gonna be called, I don't know, misc tick, at example, just to be a little bit more organized. And what this function is gonna do is, if you press a specific button, and I actually want to find this button in game because I want to test it. Okay, there you go. This is not right, but it's okay. And we're gonna execute if this block is a stone button and it's pressed. So we're gonna do if powered equals true. So only if this button is a stone button and it's powered, then we are gonna run the reset function beautiful map column reset system. And now this misc tick function is gonna run in the tick function itself, so we can put it right here, beautiful map column misc tick. So there you go, now we do reload and everything is gonna work. If I press this button, it's gonna say you are bad because you are lost, and it's also gonna change my spawn point and all of the other stuff. In the meantime, these two trolls are gonna work. Alright, so all of this code was done only using Datapacks, without using any commands. Now, if I wanted to use commands, it would have to look something like this. This would be the reset system, this would be the troll, this would be the other troll, and this would be the chain, the misc tick chain, that is gonna check if this button is pressed in order to activate this command block. But now, in order to do all of that stuff, you would have to first check if the button is pressed, then activate the impulse command block, and then right here you would need another command that disables these impulse command blocks so that the map can be reset the next time you play it. So yeah, this is how it would look using command blocks, this is how it looks using functions. But you may say, okay Nico, this is all nice and dandy, but I want to do conditional commands. How do you do that using functions? You can't, right? You cannot do conditional commands. You are bad. This is all bad. This video is bad. Okay, let's suppose we want to do some conditional command blocks. We have a repeating command block chain right here that is always active, and we want to execute if, I don't know, the player is under a certain block. Let's say if the player is under red concrete block. So if the block underneath the player is red concrete, then naturally we're gonna execute as all at S if block underneath is a Minecraft red concrete. Then we're gonna say hi, but we also want to do another thing right here, and we want to do it with a conditional command block. And what we want to do is say hi 2, and then say hi 3, and hi 4, so I need to do all of these as conditional. Okay, like this, something like this, yes. Okay, so we have this chain, and once I go here, as you can see, it's gonna do all of that. It's gonna say hi 2, hi 5, hi 4, and hi 3. How do I replicate this using functions? Well, we're gonna call this chain red concrete hi. So first of all, let's create a new file which is called the red concrete hi.mc function. Now this file is gonna contain the first command block, which is this one. And at the end of the command block, instead of running say hi, it's gonna run function red concrete hi conditional. Now you can call this however you want. Naturally, if your troll is more specific, you can give it a better name. But now we're gonna create a new function that is called red concrete hi conditional. And inside this function, we're gonna put all of the values. So we're gonna put say hi, say I2, say I3, say I4, and say I5. These were the conditional command blocks that were coming afterwards. Alright, so now that we did this, it's gonna work the same exact way, except it's not. Except it's not, because this function right here, first of all, is not in the right place, but other than that, this function right here is never getting called. So we need to call this on tick, because this is a repeating function. So we're gonna call this function on the tick.mc function, and it's gonna be called red concrete high. And there you go. Now, if we do reload, it's gonna work the exact same way. So this function, red concrete high, is being run every single tick, and only if it succeeds, then it's gonna run this other function right here, which has all of these commands. You can imagine all of these commands being in a conditional chain. Now, if you want to make a chain where this command block cares about the result of the last one, this one cares about the result of the last ones, and all of this stuff, you would have to make a new function for every new conditional command. But usually this is never the case, okay? Usually you have a conditional command block and then you want everything else afterwards to execute based on the success of the first one, not on the success of the previous one. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, you can do that using functions as well. Well, you might say, well, Nico, this is just another way of writing code. Why is this better? Why is this more efficient? Well, there are a few reasons why writing datapacks is better than writing command blocks. Reason number one, you don't have to care about the command blocks being loaded in a single chunk. All of the datapack functions are always loaded all the time. Reason number two, sometimes command blocks glitch for no reason at all, and even if they show as always active, they are as needs redstone. I had this bug so many times and it made me lose so many hours of map making for no reason. Reason number three, commenting code is hard, and doing it on Science is even harder. With Datapacks, you can comment the code much easier by just adding an hashtag before the line. All of the stuff that I say here is not gonna be taken in consideration. I can be like, this function affects the following round troll, an example. Or I can write something defining a command block itself saying, this command is needed because the tree should fall only if the player is at these coordinates. Another reason is that datapacks have much better highlighting. As you can see, I can check if a certain player has a certain MBT. So I can check if they are like invulnerable, even if I don't think players can be invulnerable, but okay. But as you can see, I can check if a certain entity, which is not a player, has a certain MBT, and the MBT might actually change on the type of entity I select. So if I select, I don't know, an armor stand, it's gonna have a different MBT, and it's gonna give me different suggestions based on it. So as you can see, this suggestion right here, show arms, it's only showing because I have the type armor stand. If I put the type player, then this MBT is not gonna show me show arms, but it's gonna show me a bunch of different stuff like XP, XP seed, XP total, and all of this stuff. So this editor is really responsive, and you actually dream of this level of responsiveness in Minecraft, where when you have to write some MBT, you are literally all alone. It doesn't have any concept of JSON at all. But yeah, if you're writing a tell row and there is like an on-click event that does like say hi, as you can see in the command value, this say hi is actually gonna be highlighted with the correct syntax. So right here, you can actually write everything you want, and it's gonna give you suggestions inside the tell row JSON itself. Another thing with using Visual Studio Code is that you can do Ctrl F and search anywhere within your code, so you don't have to go around and go and try to find all of the command blocks to see which one is broken. Also, if there is a syntax error, it's gonna show you in red the file where the error is, and it's gonna highlight it with a squiggly line, which is something Minecraft unfortunately doesn't have. Another thing is, if you reference a function by calling it, you can do Command or Control and click on the function to get into the file. And if you hover over the function, you're gonna get a snippet of what the function does. So this is really convenient because once again, you don't have to go looking into weird command blocks chain in order to make it work. You just have to click one function and there you go, you are at that file. And the last thing I wanted to show you, you might not need it in everyday life, but I still think it's really cool. Let's suppose you're generating some fireworks, okay? And you have the command to generate them right here. And you paste the command inside your datapack. Well, right here, where it's defining the colors, you can actually click on the color and you can manually select it, like this. Now, once I found out about this, I was like mind blown, this is so cool. But yeah, this is actually doable. and it's actually gonna work. The color is gonna be completely right, and as you can see, it's gonna summon the firework with the right color. It's also gonna give you suggestions to keep the code consistent. So an example right here, the ID is missing a few quotes or quotations. You can actually go here, click on the little light bulb, and it's gonna actually fix it for you. So as you can see, it's gonna put quotations on the object ID. And lastly, the best thing about Datapacks is that it's harder to cheat, you know? If you don't want a person to cheat on your own map, the only thing you can do is hide the command block somewhere, but that is gonna be a pain for you to actually develop the map. With Datapacks, there is no way the player can cheat. The only way they can cheat is if they go into the files and try modifying the command blocks. But you know, that takes more amount of effort, so I don't think many players will do that, or many players will even know how to do that. And finally, the Datapack can actually modify other stuff throughout the game, like loot tables, recipes, and advancements. And all of this stuff is actually parsed by Visual Studio Code, and it's gonna give you suggestion on creating recipes as well. So an example, this code is coming from my super secret project I told no one about, and here I created a custom recipe. I really think this is enough to make you switch to Datapacks and ditch command blocks forever. But if it's not, you can leave me a comment or chat with me on Discord, and I will try to persuade you into only using Datapacks from now on. Making the switch is really easy because the syntax is literally the same, you're using the same commands, but you're writing them in a different and more convenient way. It's not like switching from 1.12 and 1.13 command blocks, that was pain. Anyway guys, thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you learned something new, make sure to leave a like so more people can see it and you can boost my ego. Thank you very much. And also, if you're new on this channel, you can subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of new incoming videos. And yeah, this is it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.